Oh boy.
Oh
boy.
Here. And once again, another guest. First time using IG Live.
Am I doing this? Maybe second time. I did one in my garage once. Everybody, I'm trying to follow everybody else. Everybody on IG.
Oh, y'all get quiet when Kofi up in here, huh? It's real quiet up in here.
You know what to do to make me get out here.
Should we do it? We haven't done it in a while.
Ready?
Yep.
Fuck
is on a run.
Hey,
Fuck is on a run.
Hey, somebody is on a run. We're about to get funky up in here. What? What you say? What you got? What you got for me? Okay.
I don't think there's a better icebreaker in the world than that right there.
Funkasaurus. Wow.
Yes. Man, episode 24, episode Kofi, man.
That's right.
And we got
that's
the Kobe
right.
Bryant of the WWE right here, man.
Oh God, you're too kind. You're too kind. That's big shoes to fill.
I'm holding that one in my pocket.
Swerve City Podcast. You see it. In case y'all don't know, Swerve City Podcast. You see it? Swerve City. You see it? You see Swerve?
Yeah, see, that's the former WWE champion.
IG Live right there, man. We in here. We got time with Kofi. He took a lot of time out of his day to come in here.
Oh, come on, man.
Support us, man.
It ain't nothing.
Shoot, there's everything to us.
It ain't nothing.
And some
you know?
folks here. Look at the team right here.
Yeah. I'm digging this setup, man. This is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in these dire times, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's finding a way to kind of foster their creativity, man. And like literally from the moment you walk in the door, you show me your little studio out there. You know what I'm saying? And then your real studio in here. I see everybody. This is everybody who's been on the show.
These are people I've worked with over the past
come
years.
across.
Like British Strong Style up there, Morrison. Like I worked with all these people. Like,
this is great.
Yeah, Ultimo Dragon. I even wrestled.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wrestled him. North Carolina. I think you weren't there on that one. But there was an NGW over there. Yeah. Shout out NGW, Cody Ford, bro. Yeah.
I'm digging the vibe though.
Yeah, thank you, man.
For real.
I'm digging this vibe, man.
Shout out Saad, I see.
Yep. So, last episode we had Austin Theory, episode 23. We got real with him. Even though like in such a short career that he's had so far, his mind is like 10 years ahead already.
Oh yeah.
And so now we're going opposite. We have someone with the lineage as far as you,
whose mind is going. Not whose mind is regressing. Is that what you're trying to say? The opposite.
I would say y'all between the three of you, Big E and Xavier, man, y'all are like moving the business forward years ahead with everything y'all doing within the wrestling business and outside of it. I think y'all opened up a whole new lane.
We appreciate it too, man. We try to keep that in the forefront of our mind. You know, we take a lot of pride on having our finger on like the pulse of pop culture and whatnot.
Always hard to do.
So, you know, between mainly with Woods and E, because they're on social media and everything a lot more than I am. You know, they tell me what's popping. You know what I'm saying?
That's his job.
You know, but yeah.
He always sends me the links. I'm like, you heard about what
happened?
Yeah. What's the name? I'm like, no.
Like,
they got the link.
This happened on whatever. And did you hear about this? You want to say something about it in the promo? I'm like, sure. Okay, I'll say it. And then, you know, of course, we go on social media and it always pops off. So, you know, but it's all good, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. So how's everybody been? What's going on, Swole? Swole got a new house.
Oh, new house.
Praise the Lord.
Okay.
Yes. Closing on our first house in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so Thursday. Yeah, I cannot wait.
That's a big deal.
Right?
That's
adulthood.
Great. That's officially adulthood.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to thank the Lord and I want to thank the Air Force.
Hey. What's been going on? TZ? I've been getting this man cardio back, bro. We just played some basketball earlier.
Oh, really?
Hooping, man.
Oh, yeah.
Getting right, man.
With these young kids,
but
too.
They said the jumper the last thing to go, and it's still there, baby.
Okay.
So, you
still got it.
I still got it.
Okay.
It's just that athleticism got to catch back up. But once I get there, I'll be all right. But, yeah, we just came from hooping.
Wow.
Had some fun doing that, getting the cardio out. Currently doing features. I got a lot of features. We're going to talk about someone that you know very dearly pretty soon. That person, I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
But you know, he's a rapper and you're tight with him.
Dope.
And, you know, just been working, man. We've got a lot of content coming. There's a lot of content that we're putting out from Humble Beginnings. Me and Swerve's album's now out on all digital markets as well. If you guys haven't copped that, make sure you guys cop that album. It is a classic masterpiece. And I hope you guys are enjoying that. So that's it with my life, man.
Okay.
Man, and before we go any further, we always, I got to show love to Around Seattle, our sponsor for the podcast. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the lights that we have. We wouldn't have the microphones. We wouldn't have the curtains, the banner. We all owe this all to you, Around Seattle. And he helped out with the studio over there, the equipment. He just sent in that foam and the silence pads over there. So, man, shout out Around Seattle. You're doing your thing. Appreciate the love, and you keep going. Keep showing us more and more. We don't deserve you.
You got the hookup.
Maybe not me, but moving on. All right. To the legend himself, Mr. Kofi Kingston. What's been going on, man?
I mean, just living like everybody else. I've been saying this in a lot of different interviews and whatnot that we've had, or that I've had anyway. It's something where, like, we are in these, like, the quote is, these dire times or these trying times and whatnot. There's obviously, like, a lot of uncertainty going on in the world today. But the glass half full scenario for me is that I've gotten to spend so much, like, quality and quantity time. You guys ever watch Hey Arnold?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And Helga's dad was, do you remember that episode, Quantity Time? We're going to spend some quantity time. So I always joke about that. But I've gotten to spend quality and quantity time with my family, and it's been awesome, Just playing, like, checkers and chess with my oldest son. My youngest son finally starting to get it, too. He just turned 4. They both had birthdays a week and a half ago. I got to be home for both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's, things are going to go back to normal at some point in time. But for right now, again, like, just in a state of trying to stay positive, being able to spend time with my family, with my wife. We haven't spent this much time together. You know what I'm saying? And she still likes me. You know what I mean?
It's almost like learning a new person all over again.
Yeah. So it's been great. It's been great all around, and we just go out and we try to do what we do, and try to keep it moving one day at a time.
Man, I want to go into the influence you have on not just the wrestling industry, but, like, the WWE universe, man. Like, so I was, like, thinking about this earlier. I'm like, yo, what's funny? You've, like, made your mark in the industry when you become an archetype for people to follow. You know what I mean? I love the word archetype because I play some NBA 2K. Archetype is a big deal. But saying, like, yo, I want to carve my career like a Kofi Kingston, like a Brock Lesnar. Like, you become one of those archetypes. And if it wasn't for you and everything that you've done in your career, the past, like, going on almost 20 years now?
Career now? Oh, geez. On TV, I think a little over 12 total.
Yeah.
Not much longer than that. Is it almost 20? No. Maybe closer to 15.
15?
Closer to 15, yeah. I was about to say.
It feels like, so I've been
time just flows for me.
I've seen it since I was a freaking adolescent, before that, pre-adolescent, so it feels like that so much more. But, like, talk about, like, being an it feels like you carved a path for, like, guys like myself, guys like Cedric Alexander, guys like Apollo Crews to, like, fill that Kofi Kingston, boom, that archetype. And like, you want to, I feel like that's a goal that everybody wants to become.
About to say, I see what you did there with the boom. You know what I'm saying? You throw 2 more of them in there, and we start talking Jamaican, take it away. You know what I'm saying? You throw 2 more booms in there.
Who's this man? Security?
I don't condone this too much.
Oh, man, but I appreciate you saying that, man. Yeah. I hope I don't get, like, too emotional in this interview here, because I already kind of start feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
feel it.
It's a huge sense of pride. Obviously, to be the first African-born champion, it's crazy that WrestleMania happened over a year ago,
Yeah.
Because I get tweets and messages every single day about people talking about how they were impacted positively by that moment. And I remember that day, and I've said it again, like, a bunch of different interviews, so forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but so many people were so emotionally affected, man. Like, I saw people jump, as soon as I ended up winning, a whole bunch of people were jumping up and down and hugging each other, hugging strangers, grown men in bars crying, you know what I'm saying? And you had little kids doing the same exact thing. Bro, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, the love that came from that moment. And then obviously with, Woods and E, like, without them, none of this happens at all. You know what I'm saying? So the journey that we've been on, and it was me that was holding the championship title, but that image right there is like we talked about that. You know, you talk about affirmation and just envisioning something happening. You know, Woods would go in interviews all the time and talk about, oh, you know, my only goal is to see Kofi Kingston as WWE champion. And I, you know, kind of laugh it off. But then all of a sudden Ali gets hurt. You know what I mean? And then I'm called upon to fill this role. We go into these gauntlet matches. And then all of a sudden, like, the people start thinking, like, oh, my gosh, like, you know, this is close. It's going to happen, you know? So eventually it did, you know, and I'll never forget in Houston at the Elimination Chamber when people, you know, it was up to me and Brian, last two. I just eliminated Randy Orton, and the crowd was just going nuts, you know, and I never felt that kind of love from a crowd before. You know, it was just, you know, you like, it's so hard to describe because it's something that you feel in this industry where it's supposed to be entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. How is it that we impact people in such a meaningful way? You know, you like strive to have those moments, and I'm just grateful that that I was able to have a moment like that. And then there was so many just like serendipitous like moments that led up to this moment. You know, so for me to have to like fight for 11 years, if I were to come in the first day and win the WWE title, awesome, cool, not nearly as motivating. You know what I'm saying?
Has those dips and those highs,
dips and highs
to go through. That builds this. That builds that,
man. You know? And that was all part of the story. And I didn't realize until like those gauntlet matches in the Elimination Chamber as well, like that everybody who has been watching for the past decade has been coming along with that story, you know, and not just people of color, but also like everybody who has struggled. I think that's why, that's the key that, you know, that enabled everybody to get behind this story, because it was very real. You know, it wasn't like someone came up to me and said, hey, you know, in 11 years, we're going to pay this off. We're not going to let you snip the title for a decade. And then on the 11th year, we're going to come through and let you have the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't write this. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, if Ali doesn't get hurt, this moment doesn't happen. If Woods and E don't approach me about being in the New Day, this moment doesn't happen. You know, being able to like share that moment with my kids in the ring, we sacrificed so much. My wife in the ring too, like they have sacrificed so much for me to be here, for me to do this. You know what I'm saying? And for them to be in the midst of 85,000 people cheering and to feel that energy, man, at such a young age, like I hope that they understand like what the sacrifices were all about and what they were all for. Like this picture means so, like, you know, my oldest son, you saw him in there, he just ran right up to the second rope, starts throwing out t-shirts, and like you just feel that energy, man. He just, you know, so again, if this happens, you know, 11 years ago, like they don't get to experience this moment, you know, so it just doesn't. You know, you know, being born in Ghana, this year, 2019 was the year that the president declared as the year of return. He encouraged all members of the Ghanaian diaspora to come back to the motherland and get reacclimated with the land. How is it that this, of all years, is the year that that all this stuff happens? You know what I'm saying?
It
like,
culminates, man.
It's crazy. And then getting to take the title back to Ghana and share and show kids everywhere that the most prestigious title in the history of wrestling has a very Ghanaian name on it. Kofi in Ghana is like Mike or Ja, you know, like really just popular. It was so empowering for me to be at the center of all of that. Is just, it's humbling, and I take a lot of pride in being the guy that can, you know, motivate people to go out and do anything and, you know, hang in there, you know what I'm saying? Like keep fighting no matter what, because anybody who has struggled like knows that their highs and lows, like you said, you know, and you just have to fight through them with the hope that, you know, there's my mom right there too, you know, and that's me with the president of Ghana.
Hey, boy! And see the rest of this podcast, this great interview with Mr. Kofi Kingston right here, is if you subscribe to the youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast, it'll be posted by next week. Yeah. But we'll be dropping some nice little gems between.
Shout out the Austin Theory video and also the Chit Trap that dropped today.
The Chit Trap just shouted the Chit Trap that we did with Damian Priest just dropped today on YouTube. Go check that out.
I'm sorry.
Okay. And the episode with Austin Theory has dropped. Episode 23. Episode Jordan.
Jordan.
Episode Jordan.
There we go.
Backslash Sports City Podcast.
Check it out. Jordan.
Boom.
Cutting it off.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
You only get a piece of that love.